Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about the rotary swaps available in Forza Motorsport 7. Yes, in a couple of the cars you can actually swap either the 13B from the RX-8 that you see here, or the 4-rotor out of the 787B race car. So basically you can just drop it into another car and it just uses the sound files from that car to apply to whatever new car you drop it in. So I was playing around in the game and I actually found out that you could rotary swap some pretty interesting cars, so that's what I'm going to be taking a look at today. So let's get started. Of course, you can throw a 13B into a 240SX and S13 because if you guys have seen my review in real life of the S13, it's the perfect platform. You can throw anything into it, and it'll be a good car. And like I said, the 26B, because this is the 4-rotor swap, is absolutely insane, and with a good wheel and tire setup, I'm sure it would be way better. But it's really cool to see us in the game. You can absolutely tear up any drift event with this S13 4-rotor because it's definitely enough power, and as long as you keep it lower gear, higher revs, drifting is super easy in this thing. The Fiat 124 Spider, while it's not the craziest car in the game to get a rotary swap, it actually kind of makes sense. It shares a chassis with the real-life ND Miata, so in a sense, it has a little bit of Mazda blood in it. And it feels right when the rotary engine is in it. It's very powerful, it does a lot for the car, and I'm sure with a little bit of tuning, some suspension work and tires, it would be an absolute monster on the track. The Crown Victoria is actually what kicked me off to these interesting rotary swaps. I was just messing around with the Crown Vic and realized you could drop a 4-rotor into it, which I've never heard of that in real life. Again, it's not the craziest car on this list that you can drop a rotary into, but it's very interesting hearing an American car with the iconic rotary chime coming out of it. And bonus points to anyone that can tell me what video game this Crown Vic's livery is from. Leave it in the comment section down below if you know, because if you know, you know. AMC Pacer, of course, you guys know I gotta do a fun livery with this one, but what really surprised me about this one is driving it around, I really got the vibe of an old SA. I've ridden in a couple SAs in my time, in real life, obviously, and they're slow. The 12As are pretty slow, and this car felt like a 12A was in it. I don't know why. It's the same 13B. I thought it had more pep in the chassis. I don't know how heavy Pacers are. Maybe they're real heavy. But it felt a lot like a SA RX-7, or that it could keep up with one of those. And of course sounded like one due to the 13B. The Holden FX UTe is a really cool car that you can put a 13B into because it's the closest we'll get to a repo in a video game, which, fingers crossed, please, if anyone from Forza is out there, please put a repo into any upcoming Forza game, whether it be this one or one down the road, because that would be absolutely awesome to make into a drift truck. And of course, with 13B, that's totally possible, and that'd be really cool to see in the game. So, unfortunately, you can't get a repo, but you can put a 13B into at least a pickup truck. The Honda S800 was really cool to see that you could rotary swap it. It kind of gives the vibes of the older SA, and you can drop a 13B into it. And I think it's really cool. The car's underpowered as it is. In my personal opinion, it's underpowered in the game. So giving it the 13B actually gives it a little bit more pep. And I'm sure, like I said, and like I'm going to say with all these other cars, with a little bit of tuning, it could be a really cool engine, because the S800 is so light. It's really the predecessor of the S2000 by many, many years, but a predecessor nevertheless. Porsche 550 Spyder is obviously a very iconic car, and it's really interesting that you can put a 13B into it. If you're rocking any other livery than the one that I have on the car currently, you're doing it wrong. I'm sorry. Rest in peace, James Dean, all that stuff. Really cool, well, not really cool story, but there's a whole story behind James Dean's death. It's kind of a cultural icon. Whatever, getting past the point. Again, it's another really cool car that you can put a rotary into because the car's so light. It actually kind of works, and I was actually getting the car to slide around a little bit, so it's really cool. I would assume it's still rear engine, which is really interesting, a rear engine rotary. Haven't really seen too many of those, although I have seen a Volkswagen Beetle with a rotary engine, and that's the same thing as a Porsche, right? Now this might be one of the most interesting ones, which is the Polaris. It's a little, basically, golf cart on steroids that you can drop a 13B into. And while that's awesome, as you can hear, it still only has a 1-speed transmission. So you're topping that thing out, and it's just singing to you. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this quick little video talking about all the rotary swaps in Forza Motorsport 7. If you want to see more gaming videos, I do have a gaming channel. I'm actually working on a ND Miata drift build over on that channel, so if you want to check it out, here's a little clip from that. Oh, wow, pile up. Okay, because everything sucks. All right, okay. Okay, oh, yep, that's matter. Yeah, I'm sorry, sir. Oh. Oh, wow. And that's basically the general idea of it. Leave a comment below if you guys have any ideas for anything you'd like to see in Forza 7. So, again, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.